Countdown Till Christmas is brought to you by Princess Grams. Personalized, magical, musical greetings from your favorite characters. Learn more and send one at princessgrams.com. Well, hello there. So nice to see you again today. Don't you agree, Sasha? She says yes. Well, I hope you're excited for another day of decorating, singing, and sharing stories together. I know I am. Well, Sasha, you want to go join your brother, or do you want to stay with me? We'll see. She's been getting very cozy with Humphrey, and I hope you've enjoyed seeing him too. Oh, you ready to go? Okay. Bye-bye. Well, why don't we find out what's in our Advent calendar for today, December 21st? Oh, it's a beautiful star, a golden star that kind of sparkles. And it's kind of like the Christmas star. Today is the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere. That means that today has about the least amount of daylight of the whole year. I bet you've noticed that it's gradually grown darker earlier in the evenings. Well, after the solstice, the daylight will begin to last a little longer each day. In the northern hemisphere, the solstice marks the official beginning of winter. But in the southern hemisphere, in places we visited like New Zealand and Argentina, it's just the opposite. They'll be enjoying their days with the longest amount of sunlight right now and summer weather. Well, many holidays and traditions come from older celebrations of astronomical events like the solstice. I always enjoy noticing how the seasons change. Why don't we find a place on our Christmas tree for our Christmas star? How about here? One of the places that has a special Christmas tradition about looking at stars is Ukraine. Ukrainians often have a special meal on Christmas Eve, but no one can start eating until the first star is seen in the sky. Christmas Eve is only 3 days away for many of us, but in countries like Ukraine, Greece, and Russia, their Christmas Eve comes 2 weeks later. And that's because many people in those countries belong to the Orthodox Church, which uses the Julian calendar. And so their Christmas Eve comes on January 6th, and Christmas Day is January 7th. Well, along with the stars, can you think of some other sparkly things we see at Christmas time, especially on our Christmas tree? How about tinsel? Tinsel is a traditional and beautiful kind of decoration. It's made of very fine silver strands that you put all over the tree to make it sparkle. And I have something that's a little like tinsel here. Well, in Ukraine and other parts of Eastern Europe, they have a story about tinsel being created by the Christmas spider. Have you ever heard of that? Legend says that when a family couldn't afford to decorate their Christmas tree, a spider wove her intricate webs all over the tree to cover it. And when the morning sunlight touched the tree, the spider webs turned into silver and gold. And because of this, you will often find a spider on a Ukrainian Christmas tree, a spider ornament. Well, I bet you would like to practice wishing someone a Merry Christmas in Ukrainian. And you can do that by saying, Z Rіздвом Христовим. Let's try that together. This one's a little bit tricky, I think, for my mouth. Z Rіздвом, Z Rіздвом, Z Rіздвом, Z Rіздвом Христовим. Хри, сто, Rіздвом Христовим. З Різдвом Христовим. Z Rіздвом Христовим. Very nice. Well, music is also an important part of Ukrainian celebrations. And I bet you already know one famous Ukrainian carol. The English lyrics were added to a traditional Ukrainian song to create what we call the Carol of the Bells. That's the one that goes like this. Hark how the bells, sweet silver bells, all seem to say, throw cares away, Christmas is here. And it keeps going like that. I really like that one. I think it's beautiful and exciting, and it always makes me think of Christmas. Well, would you like to continue singing with the song that we've been practicing the last 2 days up on the housetop? Well, why don't we sing all of it together? And as a reminder, the lyrics are, up on the housetop, the reindeer paws. Out jumps good old Santa Claus. Down through the chimney with lots of toys. All for the little ones' Christmas joys. Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Up on the housetop, click, click, click. Down through the chimney with old Saint Nick. So why don't we try singing that 2 times together? Ready? Up on the housetop the reindeer paws, out jumps good old Santa Claus, down through the chimney with lots of toys, all for the little ones' Christmas joys. Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Up on the housetop, click, 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 down through the chimney with old Saint Nick. One more time. Up on the housetop the reindeer paws, out jumps good old Santa Claus, down through the chimney with lots of toys, all for the little ones' Christmas joys. Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Ho, 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 who wouldn't go? Up on the housetop, click, 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 down through the chimney with old Saint Nick. That was wonderful. Thank you so much for singing with me. And tomorrow we'll be doing some reviewing of the songs we've already learned together. I hope you'll be happy to sing them again. But right now, it's time for our story of the day. And it's called A Christmas Star by Katherine Pyle. I think this is a very lovely story. But I did want to tell you that the ending is a little bit bittersweet. That means it's partly sad and partly sweet. There are many things in life that are that way, and so I think it's important to talk about them, and that's why I decided to share this story with you. I hope that you also enjoy it. Come now, my dear little stars, said Mother Moon, and I will tell you a Christmas story. Every morning for a week before Christmas, Mother Moon used to call all the little stars around her and tell them a story. It was always the same story, but the stars never wearied of it. It was the story of the Christmas star, the Star of Bethlehem. When Mother Moon had finished the story, the little stars always said, "And the star is shining still, isn't it, Mother Moon, even if we can't see it?" And Mother Moon would answer, "Yes, my dears, only now it shines for men's hearts instead of their eyes." Then the stars would bid the Mother Moon good night and put on their little blue nightcaps and go to bed in the sky chamber. For the stars' bedtime is when people down on earth are beginning to waken and see that it is morning. But that particular morning, when the little stars said good night and went quietly away, one golden star still lingered beside Mother Moon. "What is the matter, my little star?" asked the Mother Moon. "Why don't you go with your little sisters?" "Oh, Mother Moon," said the golden star, "I am so sad. I wish I could shine for someone's heart like that star of wonder that you tell us about." "Why, aren't you happy up here in the sky country?" asked Mother Moon. "Yes, I have been very happy," said the star. "But tonight It seems just as if I must find some heart to shine for." "Then if that is so," said Mother Moon, "the time has come, my little star, for you to go through the wonder entry." "The wonder entry? What is that?" asked the star. But Mother Moon made no answer. Rising, she took the little star by the hand and led it to a door that it had never seen before. The Mother Moon opened the door, and there was a long, dark entry. At the far end was shining a little speck of light. "What is this?" asked the star. "It is the wonder entry, and it is through this that you must go to find the heart where you belong," said the Mother Moon. Then the little star was afraid. It longed to go through the entry as it had never longed for anything before, and yet it was afraid and clung to the Mother Moon. But very gently, almost sadly, the Mother Moon drew her hand away. "Go, my child," she said. Then, wondering and trembling, the little star stepped into the wonder entry, and the door of the sky house closed behind it. The next thing the star knew, it was hanging in a toy shop with a whole row of other stars, blue and red and silver. It itself was gold. The shop smelled of evergreen and was full of Christmas shoppers, men and women and children. But of them all, the star looked at no one but a little boy standing in front of the counter. For as soon as the star saw the child, it knew that he was the one to whom it belonged. The little boy was standing beside a sweet-faced woman in a long black veil, and he was not looking at anything in particular. The star shook and trembled on the string that held it, because it was afraid lest the child would not see it, or lest if he did, he would not know it as his star. The lady had a number of toys on the counter before her, and she was saying, "Now I think we have presents for everyone. There's the doll for Lou, and the game for Ned, and the music box for May, and then the rocking horse and the sled." Suddenly the little boy caught her by the arm. "Oh, Mother," he said. He had seen the star. "Well, what is it, darling?" asked the lady. "Oh, Mother, just see that star up there? I do wish I had it." "Oh, my dear, we have so many things for the Christmas tree," said the mother. "Yes, I know, but I do want that star," said the child. "Very well," said the mother, smiling. "Then we will take that too." So the star was taken down from the place where it hung and wrapped up in a piece of paper, and all the while it thrilled with joy, for now it belonged to the little boy. It was not until the afternoon before Christmas, when the tree was being decorated, that the golden star was unwrapped and taken out from the paper. "Here is something else," said the sweet-faced lady. "We must hang this on the tree. Paul took such a fancy to it that I had to get it for him. He will never be satisfied unless we hang it on too." "Oh, yes," said someone else who was helping to decorate the tree. "We will hang it here, on the very top." So the little star hung on the highest branch of the Christmas tree. That evening, all the candles were lighted on the Christmas tree, and there were so many that they fairly dazzled the eyes, and the gold and silver balls, the fairies, and the glass fruits shone and twinkled in the light, and high above them all shone the golden star. At 7 o'clock, a bell was rung, and then the folding doors of the room where the Christmas tree stood were thrown open, and a crowd of children came trooping in. They laughed and shouted and pointed and all talked together, and after a while there was music, and presents were taken from the tree and given to the children. How different it all was from the great, wide, still sky house. But the star had never been so happy in all its life, for the little boy was there. He stood apart from the other children, looking up at the star, with his hands clasped behind him, and he did not seem to care for the toys and the games. At last it was all over. The lights were put out, the children went home, and the house grew still. Then the ornaments on the tree began to talk among themselves. "So that is all over," said a silver ball. "It was very gay this evening, the gayest Christmas I remember." "Yes," said a glass bunch of grapes, "the best of it is over. Of course people will come to look at us for several days yet, but it won't be like this evening." "And then I suppose we'll be laid away for another year," said a paper fairy. "Really, it hardly seems worthwhile, such a few days out of the year, and then to be shut up in the dark box again. I almost wish I were a paper doll." The bunch of grapes was wrong in saying that people would come to look at the Christmas tree in the next few days, for it stood neglected in the library, and nobody came near it. Everybody in the house went about very quietly, with anxious faces, for the little boy was ill. At last, one evening, a woman came into the room with a servant. The woman wore the cap and apron of a nurse. "That is it," she said, pointing to the golden star. The servant climbed up on some steps and took down the star and put it in the nurse's hand, and she carried it out into the hall and upstairs to a room where the little boy lay. The sweet-faced lady was sitting by the bed, and as the nurse came in, she held out her hand for the star. "Is this what you wanted, my darling?" she asked, bending over the little boy. The child nodded and held out his hands for the star, and as he clasped it, a wonderful, shining smile came over his face. The next morning, the little boy's room was very still and dark. The golden piece of paper that had been the star lay on a table beside the bed, its 5 points very sharp and bright. But it was not the real star, any more than a person's body is the real person. The real star was living and shining now in the little boy's heart, and it had gone out with him into a new and more beautiful sky country than it had ever known before. The sky country where the little child angels live, each one carrying in its heart its own particular star. Why don't we end our time together today with another Christmas carol? And this one is called Away in a Manger. And if you know it, why don't you sing with me? Away in a manger, no crib for a bed, the little Lord Jesus laid down his sweet head. The stars in the bright sky looked down where he lay, the little Lord Jesus asleep on the hay. Well, thank you again for coming to see me today. I'll look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Bye-bye. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share it with a friend. That not only encourages me, it also makes a big difference to my channel and helps others find videos they would enjoy too. Wishing you a joyful season and a happy day. I'll see you tomorrow.